Sam Foster, my great-grandfather. Sam Foster is my great-grandfather. That's him sitting on the left. Sitting on the right is Helene, my great-grandmother. Standing at the back is my granny Anne. And sitting on Sam's knee is my great-aunt Marjorie. Recently my granny, Anne, passed away. She was extremely kind and caring and a very intelligent person. And I've since learnt that a lot of the values that she's passed on to me and my family came from Sam. This is the story of Sam Foster and why I admire him. Sam was born in 1892 and grew up in a small town of Walsall Wood in England. He later moved to Cannock, about 10 miles away. In the late 19th century, Britain was a heavily class-based society. You were either rich, moderately well off, or poor, and the laws of the day were intended to keep you that way. If you were poor, you worked hard jobs in the mines or factories for next to nothing, and if you were wealthy, you made sure people knew by the way you dressed. Sam was the third youngest of 11 siblings. There were 8 boys and 3 girls. The Fosters weren't the poorest around, but they worked very hard for very little. Sam went to school, but probably didn't go on to high school. These are some photos of what school was like around that time. By all accounts, he had a good sense of humour and enjoyed the odd prank or two with his brothers, including when they replaced presents in his stocking or in his sock for Christmas with stones. He was mortified. After Sam left school, he went working in the mines. He started working in the mines when he was 14 and spent 20 years down there. Conditions were pretty horrible. During the winter, he would leave home in the dark, spend all day down the mines swinging a pickaxe and pushing heavy trolleys, and then return home in the dark. Sam either owned a push bike or a motorbike. We couldn't determine which it was talking to different people, and I wonder if he might have actually owned both. Might have, when he was younger, had the push bike and saved up when he was older to get the motorbike. What we do know is that he had a few accidents, and in one accident he broke his leg, which kept him out of going and fighting in World War One. Wasn't so fortunate for one of his brothers who lost their life fighting him. Near the end of World War One, in 1918, Sam married Helene, my great-grandmother, in this church in Cannock, England, where they lived. They lived with relatives in this twin terrace house. They grew and sold some vegetables to supplement the income that Sam received from working as a gang foreman in the mines. Sam was a great believer in education. He didn't go on to study past primary school himself, but his brothers went on to become a high school teacher, a priest, a pilot. Sam's experiences in the mines might have helped shape this belief in education, and he'd often say, if you're educated, you had better chances in life. This picture is of Walsall Wood High Street there, and this is where Sam would bike his 10 miles after a back-breaking day in the mines to go and study at night classes. We think he was studying technical drawing at the time. It shows his commitment to bettering himself. Also during this time he learnt about becoming a builder, and with the help of a couple of friends built his own home. During 1926 there was a prolonged coal miners' strike. This photo here is of children waiting for a soup kitchen. Sam went out and bought himself a chafe cutter and set to work trying to earn some money that way. Because of the strike, and the enthusiasm of some New Zealand visitors, Sam and Helene decided to emigrate to New Zealand. They left England in early September 1926, when my granny was only 4. They left from Southampton on board the steamer Ruahine, in this picture. My granny never saw her own granny again. They went via the Panama Canal. They had a good cabin, with a porthole, but Sam suffered dreadfully from seasickness. The trip took 6 weeks, and perhaps because of the seasickness, Sam was never too interested in going back to visit relatives in England. The table in this picture was turned upside down, and all of Sam and Helene's belongings that they brought out with them packed inside it. You might recognise someone in the photo on top. With the help of the bank, they bought a farm in Norsewood. This must have been a great feeling for Sam, and he worked hard to make it successful. While they didn't have to clear the forest, the farm was covered in tree stumps, and it took them many years of hard work to get it successful. People who knew Sam remember him as someone who liked to act the goat a bit. He'd create a lot of mayhem by winding up younger children. His quick sense of humour meant he wasn't short of a reply or joke. He was also someone who liked to question things and make up his own mind. Reciting Shakespeare was a common interest of Sam's. Even the cows got to enjoy Friends, Romans and Countrymen. Lend me your ears. My granddad commented on how physically strong he is. It's a bit hard not to be, I suppose, with 20 years in the mines. I've never met my great-granddad, Sam Foster. This hasn't stopped me being a great admirer of his. I'm grateful for his belief in education, his determination for my granny to go to university, and then her encouraging my father. I think my own passion for learning can be traced back to Sam's. I also find it amazing that he was so focused and driven to better himself and his family. He was a tireless worker and made some life-changing sacrifices. Whenever I feel the pressure coming on in my own life, thinking about Sam and Helene and what they went through helps put it all into perspective. Thank you to the many people who have helped me build up a picture of what Sam was like.